Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bentonville, Arkansas. We are here live at the United States Adventure Racing 2025 National Championship. I'm Doug Silk. I'll be the host for all of your live interactions today. I'm from AR.Watch. Make sure you're following all of our coverage all weekend long. It's a beautiful day out here today. The sunrise this morning was absolutely spectacular. Racers got on buses this morning. They headed over to the start line, and they are ready to rock and roll. We've got our beat coverage that's going to be out there with Brian Gatens from the Dark Zone and Mary Foster from Adventure Enablers, and they're going to be out there bringing you interviews with people from the start line, and they're going to take you inside the course while we're bringing it to you live here from the Ledger in downtown Bentonville. This is an amazing facility if you've never been here. It's the only building in the United States that you can bike to the top of. We got to ride it yesterday up the 500 feet to the top, and racers are going to finish here, right out here on this patio behind us tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock is the cutoff time. So Jeff from Adventure Racing Insider is the behind the scenes guy. He's doing all of this stuff. You'll probably hear some from him during this broadcast. And this is all streaming live on YouTube. You can follow us at USARA.com during the entire time. Just go to that website and click on the live link. The tracker is up there. We've got the Adventure Enablers tracker that is going to be tracking all of your teams. There are 78 teams out here this weekend of the top teams in the country that are competing for this national championship. We're going to crown an overall winner. We're going to crown a men's winner and a women's winner and a mixed winner. And so we are excited. It is a tough course, I will tell you. It's about 150 miles, give or take, and there's a lot of biking. If you've ever been to Bentonville, Bentonville is famous for the mountain biking trails here, and racers are going to get a lot of them. The end stage, which we're going to do the flyover here in just a second, and we'll go stage by stage and break down how this race is going to play out for racers. And we'll also talk about places that some teams you might see cutting some points, because a lot of the teams are going to have to do that. We have an over-under, a betting thing on how many teams are going to be able to clear this course, but it's roughly a baker's dozen. Maybe under that, depending on the heat is going to be really difficult today. The high today is 92, and it is clear, so they're not going to have to deal with any other kind of weather. But if they're not managing their heat and their hydration today, they're going to pay. Luckily, overnight it drops down into the 70s, so racers will get a respite from the heat overnight. But they're going to have to make sure they manage it today, or tomorrow and overnight is going to be very, very difficult. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to bring you the preview. I'll kind of talk through it. So without further ado, I'm going to start the preview that Jeff put together, and you're going to get to see how this plays out. So the first stage is a trek stage, and it's 13 miles long. It's the Zanfeld Trek stage, and racers are going to get roughly 15 points, I think, on this section, which is a lot of points. And I think there are opportunities for racers to cut some of the points if they want to, so they can make it shorter or longer. I mean, if you're talking 13 miles, if depending on your speed and terrain and your management of heat, it's going to get difficult, because you're going to be doing 2, 3, 4 miles an hour. The top teams are going to be running. I mean, let's just face it. But a lot of the teams are just going to be getting through it. Now, there is a unique award for this stage of the race. The winners in the fastest time on leg one win the Wizards of Oz award. So we'll be anxiously watching the tracker and seeing how this plays out You know, I'm sure you're going to see a little bit of a conga line at first. So as you're watching the tracker, you're going to see a lot of the follow the leader, and that's okay at this point of the race. And we'll get to see who drops what early on here in this first stage. So this could take anywhere from 3.5 hours probably to maybe 6 hours, depending on the speed of the teams that you are watching. We have all levels of teams here this year, and so racers are going to have to make some strategic decisions, and this might be one of the only places that teams will be able to cut points, you know, instead of just going from one point to another, and you'll see that as the flyover continues. The next stage of the race, racers are going to finish this. They're going to get to TA1, which is sponsored by Chamber Springs Access. The Arkansas Fish and Wildlife have been amazing to work with, and USARA is super appreciative of them. They're sponsoring TA1, so racers are going to get into TA1 and they're going to get on their boats, and they're going to start. They're going to start paddle part A. Paddle part A is pretty straightforward. There's only one checkpoint on this paddle section, so navigation is not going to be difficult. You're going to be able to just kind of power along and try to get your speed up and get down the river. The river's moving pretty good in the videos that I've seen. So racers should be pretty quick through this first section. And they're going to get to Siloam Springs Kayak Park. That's the first real section of rapids that racers are going to have to navigate. What's unique about this is there are a couple of sections of rapids in this race. And if you've ever been in a 3-person canoe going down rapids, it can be tricky. So we're going to see the teams that really strategize their seating and hopefully brought bailers, because I think they're going to need them as they go over some of these falls, because water's going to get in your boat. That's just the way it's going to work here. Especially, you know, you race with a team of big guys like me, you're not getting much clearance going over those sections anyway. And if you're hitting the rapids, it's going to be even more difficult. So that paddle section A finishes at the Siloam Springs Kayak Park. At that point, racers are going to get to make a decision. If they want to continue on paddle part B, they'll continue from the Siloam Springs Kayak Park down to the Woka Whitewater section. Now, you could also portage and go straight from there to portage to where you will get on your bikes. But that means that you will basically skip the paddle part B and the trek back from the end of paddle part B back to the transition into the bikes. Now, that might be a brilliant move for some of the back of the pack teams, because it's going to get them further along in the course and give them an opportunity for some of the things that are going to come later in the race. And so the teams that continue through there will continue down to the Woka Whitewater section, and the fastest team to get from Siloam Springs Kayak Park to the Woka Whitewater is going to win the Woka Whitewater Award for the fastest paddle. Now, at the end of the Woka section, there are 3 sets of pretty big man-made rapids that were in that section. We're going to bring you some drone video later, I think, from the course, and we're probably going to have Brian and Mary out there just in case we see some yard sales of people going over. Now, if you attack those straight on and hit the rapids the way that you're supposed to, you shouldn't have an issue. However, you're going to take on water regardless. It's a pretty big drop from what I've seen. So teams have the option to portage around it, but if you do, you are not up for the Whitewater award for the fastest time. So, I mean, if you're going to go, let's just go. Send it. Go full send. Give yourself a chance. And if you get wet, hey, it's a hot day. You're going to be fine, and we'll have fun. So they're going to continue. I think let's go to the start. We've got Brian Gatens and Mary. Brian.
Hey guys, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
We are delighted to be here. I'm going to switch the camera around so you can see the racers doing their mapping. There you go. I'm assuming you can still hear me.
Oh yeah.
So right now, a quiet has fallen over the start. Lake Weddington is absolutely beautiful. The sunrise couldn't be any nicer. And as you look around, scattered on the picnic benches and in the different areas, as you see the racers and the teams, there's Mary. The racers and the teams are slowly going through their maps, taking their time, doing a great job, very methodical. The ride here was easy. And what you're seeing is the fact that they have a lot of time to work on all of the maps. Team Fragile Flowers right here. There's Olga, Donna, and Allie getting ready for their race.
Thank you.
As we look throughout the green sunshine, the beautiful day coming in, is that team's just working through what they have here. Classic adventure racing start, right? It is pin silent here. Whispers just of the different teammates, going over the course, looking at different routes, doing their finding. But other than that, we are all systems go here at the start. A smooth arrival, a smooth bus ride. And all we're waiting for now is for the clock to tick to 9 o'clock and we could start the USARA National Championship. This is a team right here out of Wisconsin.
And so
taking
Brian,
their time.
They didn't get the maps till they got there, correct?
No, correct. They arrived here and the maps were distributed and were given out. And now they are working through the maps on these picnic tables. But they just got the maps now.
I know there was a lot of nervous energy at the race brief yesterday after watching the flyover. Do you feel that this morning there?
No, not at all. Not at all. These are teams are pros. They know the national championship, and they are just. It is the vibe here is quiet and methodical. You could hear a pin drop right now as everyone goes through the match together. This is a great starting spot because everyone can spread out. No one's really on top of each other. We have a lot of teams on the benches. Some teams have some ground over here. Other teams, there's a pavilion that's all the way over there that some teams have found. But there's zero nervous energy here. Slow preparation as teams get ready for the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, most of the teams that are here are pros, right? I mean, not pros, but they've done a lot of adventure racing just to get to this point.
Yeah. Like as we've seen before with a lot of races. Hello, everybody. A couple volunteers right there. So we're going live. Good job, guys. Rare is the team that shows up here as their first adventure race, right? And while it does happen time to time, well, they're earlier in their career, and we love and applaud those folks who do that. The informal anecdotal vibe as we walk around is that these are racers that have done this before, right? They know what it means to work on their maps. They know
Say
what it
hello
means
to the Broad Run team for me.
Broad Run from there. You go, Doug.
Hey, how's it going? How do you work on your map?
Right. This is Bill Diney pretending he knows what he's doing. Right.
I just write things down. They just give me something to color while they figure out what we're going to do.
So, Bill, what's happening right now? Tell us what you guys are doing.
They're doing our route choice and mapping all that stuff out. I'm getting elevations and writing down the clues, which I'll have right now all the clues and the elevations on here. Put it in my little quarterback sleeve, right, for easy access when I'm going to punch.
I mean, it doesn't get better than watching Wild Bill Donahoe work on the maps.
Right. Of course, it's the pinnacle of adventure racing right now, folks. Shut down the live feed. We saw Bill working on his maps. Here we go. We have veteran racers here, slowly going through it. There you go. There's Ron working through his maps right here.
I mean, is it an adventure race without Ron Egling?
Right, exactly. I got him out. Yeah, so this is the vibe here. If you notice how quiet it is.
Yeah.
It's heads down, the eyes are on their maps. They're just taking care of business here. These are folks who are getting ready for it. Rare is the person who shows up here and doesn't know what they're doing. What's interesting is that as quiet as it is now, we all know what's going to happen, that when we get into the race itself, we'll explode into the start and these teams are going to go full speed. One thing worth pointing out that's really worth noting, and this is a note for all race directors, is really strong credit to the race direction here, that Maps are clear. They're spelled out. The course book makes a lot of sense. There's spot for the racers to work. Like there's no tumult or turmoil around these logistics, right? Everybody gets to work. Everybody gets to do their job, and racers get to focus on racing rather than any other noise they have to worry about. So really credit to USARA for doing such a nice job getting us to this point with such strong preparation.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, having an hour and 15 before they start. They will have just enough time to start making sure they have all of their routes set, but then maybe a little bit too much time because they might start second guessing things. And
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, you work on a strategy, right? And then you want that strategy to hold itself together over time, and then you have to be open to changing that strategy if you have to, but that's not always the case, right? And so teams will have to make those adjustments. And there's the idea of the teamwork we talk a lot about in adventure racing, that it's the team of three navigating around these complex choices and doing it and communicating well and making those decisions along the way, and sometimes negotiating out route choice.
And we covered early, we talked about the first two stages before we came to you guys.
On this road.
But what's unique about this race is they're all going to hit an O course later where every single person has to be able to navigate. So I see that in these videos where I see all three people in the maps, where at some races you might just have one person who is setting out the route and expectations, but looks like every team, all three people are engaged.
Right, and that's what you're seeing, right? Because this is such a non-rushed start to the race, everybody can settle down. No one is running around working on a bike. No one is running around getting their food ready. With the paddle bag drop off and the bike drop off, you're seeing that these teams are coming here, and all they have to worry about is mapping and racing. All the other logistics have been taken care of, and nothing is more frustrating at the start of a race than having to run around and take care of something that has nothing to do with racing.
Yeah.
That's not the case here. All these racers have to do is focus on what's right in front of them, which is a really, psychologically speaking, for a 30-hour race, really lowers their psychological load because they have so little to be worried about. All they have to do is do their navigation and stick with their teammates.
Well, and you guys drove out there to the start area. Tell people at home what the terrain is like in this area if they've never been to the Bentonville area.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing here is one thing that you don't see in in Northwest Arkansas is you really don't see a lot of the steep hills that we see like in the Adirondacks or out west. What we're seeing are a lot of undulating, rolling hills that will test the teams. So a lot of punchy climbs, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. That's what I see. Mary, what do you see out there
What are we talking about?
in terms of the terrain? In terms of like what would it be like for the racers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, overall, I think the road riding sections through here aren't going to be too bad. They're definitely going to meet a lot of elevation. And like you were just saying, the short, punchy climbs on the single track. The little sugar section that they're going through is known more for elevation gain than some of the other areas around here or in proximity to downtown Bentonville. So yeah, they're gonna find some terrain today, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we've also been talking to teams about that. We're finishing up with their last spot is the Bella Vista mountain biking, and that we really want teams to make it there. It's a lot of mountain biking. There's that unique dog bone aspect to that, and teams were told last night at the briefing to really do their best to conserve their energy to make it to that part of the race.
Yeah, and
Because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, we'll continue with the flyover here, and then we'll come back to you here in a few minutes, but we'll get to that point, and then we'll come back and talk since Mary's done some riding in that section.
Sounds great. So we're here. Let us know when you want to talk again. Otherwise, we'll be pretending like we know what we're doing. All right?
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Bye now.
Still waking up.
So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to be able to see everyone interacting together on a map, because I know in a lot of races, you've got your primary navigator who is responsible for all of that, and they're the ones that are in the maps. But every table, it seemed like, everybody was engaged, which I think you see a little bit more of for those of you that are at home that are hoping to maybe get to a national championship race one day. Like, that's your team should be built that way where everybody's engaged. I know when I try to race, I try to keep all the teammates engaged, because if everybody's engaged, you're really just pushing forward stronger because I might miss something. I might not think of something that you might think of or see. And so it looks like teams are doing that now. So we talked about stages 1 and 2. And so once they get done with the second B part of the paddle, racers that finish the B part of the paddle are going to have to do about a 5-mile trek section that will go back to the TA that if people skip the B section, we're already at, because they've got to get back to their bike. And so you're basically going to hike back the thing that you just paddled. And they're going to make it back and back into, so that is the NWA Land Trust Trek. So thanks to Northwest Arkansas Land Trust. Grady Spann is the executive director and CEO there. Thank them for sponsoring that leg 3, where racers are going to see it. I mean, you can see it. There's 6 checkpoints along that way. But it's pretty straightforward, and it's going to get them back to the TA section, TA3 there at Siloam Springs Kayak Park. And so racers are then going to get on their bikes for the first time in the race. By the end of the race, they might not want to see their bikes because there is a lot of biking here. But then they're going to start on the first big bike stage where they're going to go from Siloam Springs Kayak Park to Memorial Park and TA4. It's pretty straightforward. There are a lot of little turns that teams are going to have to pay attention to navigation-wise, but there's only one checkpoint. So the navigation on this section of the bike is not going to be big. Teams are going to be able to push hard, just make sure that they're not missing turns and getting where they need to go. And then they're going to get to TA4. And TA4 is a fun little section at Memorial Park. I went out there yesterday with Mary Foster, and we did what this is the photo O course. So teams are going to get a map, and on that map there are 6 checkpoints, and on the back side of the map are 12 photographs that were taken by Stephanie, and she took all of these photos. And when you get into the area of the checkpoint, you're going to have to match what you are seeing to a photo on the back of the maps. We created a little video that we'll post a little bit later, but unless we want to post it now, but I think we'll post it later. Once the first teams start to get in that area, to give you an idea of what that looks like and tell you a little history about the little town that they're going to go in Siloam Springs. It's a really cool story, and I hope that you will tune in this afternoon for that video. I'll probably be posting it on AR.watch, and then we'll bring it over into the live streams later. But that area, Travis Cheney is the manager of Parks and Recs, and Seeger Morrow, who is the assistant city clerk for that area. That little town is so cute, and I'm sure they're going to get a kick out of having hundreds of racers running around their little town, which will probably almost double the the population of the area for the afternoon. But it's also a place where you'll get off the bike for a minute. There are some little shops. In fact, one of the checkpoints is at a coffee shop. So if racers are in need of something to eat or drink, there are little places that they can stop there. And there's a river they can jump in if they need to cool off, a little creek. So they're going to finish there and leave from there. So that's leg 5. And then they're going to start leg 6, which will take them from Memorial Park to TA5, which is at the University of Health and Performance. This is another just get there kind of bike. There is one checkpoint, I believe, along this route, as you can see on the screen. There's a little bit of elevation gain, and there's a dip down into the valley here right before you get up to the university. And teams are going to have to pay attention again because of all these turns. Like I think there's a couple checkpoints along this route. So they're going to have to pay attention because this is not the time to zone out. That first bike, you could zone out a little bit and just have to worry about one checkpoint. But in this one, there are 5. So if you are asleep at the wheel and just trying to get to the next area, it's going to be difficult. Now, a lot of teams are going to be starting this bike or getting through this bike while it starts to get dark tonight. And that's going to play into navigation choices and making sure you're hitting streets and ways that you can get to where you want to get. And so we'll see how that plays out, but they'll probably be welcoming the dark as the heat of the day will then start to dissipate, and racers will get to the University of Health and Performance. The university is a really unique place where the university kind of focuses on providing help for veterans and getting them kind of into the job market and giving them tools to be able to do things. And this is the spot of an O relay. And the O relay there is very unique. So it's the same 6 checkpoints. And we'll show you the flyover here in just a second, where you can't really see all the checkpoints. But what is unique about this is that every member of the team has to take part in this relay. So there will be one option where one person gets all 6 of the checkpoints. There's one where they get 3 of the checkpoints. I don't know which 3. And there's one where they get 1, which I'm assuming is the farthest one away from the thing. So strategy is going to come into play here where you send out your fastest, hardest running person to get the 6, your second fastest person to get the 3, and then the person that may struggle a little bit more with navigation, or like in my case, probably the slowest, because I would probably be the slow guy that would go get the 1. But teams we're gonna see, I think, some big differences in time in this section. It'll be very unique to see. But what's awesome is that TA is going to be just packed with people. Racers are going to get to see each other. They're going to get to spend time with each other. Hopefully they'll get to eat and drink. Oh, but there is something unique in that location where teams are going to get to fill their bellies with pancakes and bacon because they're going to, and coffee. That's going to be provided to racers in that area. So the racer who just has to go get 1 checkpoint, you're just going to get to eat the whole time that the other 2 people are out there. So that's a unique section. And that TA is going to be run by none other than Andrea Anderson from Team This Ability. So she got the cush gig, and it's going to be a fun TA. And I hope that racers will get to be, sharing stories of what they've gone through already, lifting each other's spirits, because as we know in adventure racing, a lot of it is you're by yourself and you're not seeing other teams, but you're going to get to see exactly where you are. And for those that are competitive, you're going to get to see where your competition is. So that should light a fire in the middle of the night into these teams. And so I think that's a very unique part of this race that is really going to be fun to dot watch. Overnight tonight, and I didn't even talk about all of the live shows that we're going to have here. We've got 6 live shows lined up for you between today and tomorrow. The first one today is at 7:30, which we started now. We're going to go up through the start. So we'll probably finish about 9:15. The next show this afternoon is going to be at 12:30 Central Time. Now, all of this is Central Time, so if you're East Coast, West Coast, adjust accordingly. But we're going to be 12:30 this afternoon. We're going to have people from Visit Bentonville, I think, here this afternoon at 12:30. And then those shows will probably be about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on all the things that we're seeing on the dots and what we want to bring to you. The next show is going to be at 5 p.m. tonight. That is going to be an awesome show. We're going to have Mark Harris from Adventure Enablers here to talk to you about the tracker. So if you're watching Dots at home, which I know all of us are, continue to go to that tracker site. But Mark's going to be here to help kind of show you some of the intricacies about the tracker, like how to go back and highlight specific teams and watch their track and where they are and how they are in comparison to others, and watch that, rewind function. And then how to specifically watch one or two teams, or if you want to, that way you're not inundated with the 78 dots that are on the screen. But it'll be awesome to have Mark here. We might have some other special guests. Everybody wants to come here to the Ledger, so they're going to be here. And then overnight, we're going to get to the Dark Zone, because we have the Dark Zone podcast brought to you by Brian Gatens, and he and Mary are going to be out there overnight. And so hopefully they will be at that TA at the university, getting to talk to teams. I might actually go out there too, because there's no reason for me to just sit here when we could be out there in the field. So we might try a couple different things in bringing you things overnight. But the midnight time frame is about when we'll be bringing you the Dark Zone section of the race. The next broadcast is at 5 a.m., I believe. I have to look. I know I'm here, so we'll be here at any time, but I'm going to check with my producers here in just a second and make sure that we have that time correct. But I want to say that it is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff.
Checking. I think we made some last minute adjustments.
Yeah, we might have adjusted that morning time frame, but I'll make sure that I check with you. For sure, we are doing a 1:30 tomorrow afternoon that will take you up through the finish. And we're going to have Stephanie Ross and Mike Garrison here for that, which is going to be awesome, because they're going to be, we're going to be wrapping up here. We'll have teams that are coming up behind us here on the Ledger, where they ride up from the end and they come all the way up here and they finish behind us. And we're going to bring it to you live from here the entire time.
7:30 a.m. tomorrow.
So sorry, it is 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, 8:30 East Coast time. So when you're getting up for breakfast on Saturday morning, tune in live. And everything is at the USARA.com website. So all you have to do, it's one click, turn it on. You'll see all of the live coverage, all of the videos. Click on the link and it'll take you right to the YouTube live. All right. So now racers we're talking about, they're finishing the Garmin Relay Trek. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Special thanks to Garmin, who's also donated 3 Garmin Enduro 3 watches to give away as door prizes as part of their stage sponsorship for the Garmin Relay Trek that is going to happen there on stage 7. So once they finish that stage, which I think we're going to see a lot of possibly changes in the rankings, where people are seated or whatever. Then they start the leg 8 squirt cycling bike leg. And that's going to be from the university to TA6, and then to the Highlands TA. Special thanks to Squirt. They sponsor a lot of things for USARA, and it's awesome to have those products just handy if you're out and you need things to be able to lube your chain and get things running smoothly. Squirt is sponsoring the leg 8 cycling stage. They're going to get to the Highlands TA, which is really a dirt spot on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. And they're going to get to that TA and they're going to do a quick, I don't know how quick at this point of the race, but the next trek leg. And that leg is the trekking leg. The maps are created by Tanzi Navigation. So Mark Latanzi put together the maps for this section. So I'm sure there's going to be some intricate navigation choices in that area. I also think this is going to be a section that the middle to the back of the pack teams might skip. It's another section where they're optional points. And if you are looking at time being an issue, you might have to cut this out. There is some elevation gain, as you can see in the stage from the flyover. They're going to be going up and down, and it looks from the Google Earth photo over top, it looks like it's pretty thick in there. So we'll see how many teams complete that trek, because what comes next is really the king stage of this race, which is the Discover Bella Vista bike stage. Big thanks to Discover Bella Vista. Brandon Kelly is the executive director. Their sponsorship for this stage and the facilitation of the use of these amazing trails is like, this race would not be what it is without this. As you can see just from the flyover, there's a lot of single track. And it kind of, if you've never ridden these trails, which I have not been lucky enough to run, but Mary Foster has, and a lot of other racers. I mean, Mike Garrison's been out here multiple times. Racers are going to have a great time in here. Now, this stage could go anywhere from 12 miles, if you short course it, to 33 miles. So 33 miles of single track at the end of an adventure race is tough, but our racers are tough. And so you're going to see a lot of people that are out there busting their butts and trying to get that. What's unique about these, the points on this stage, is that they're combination points. So in order to get the points for that, you have to get both A and B, and you have to do it together before you move on to another point. So as you're at home and watching the dots on the Enable Tracking site, you're going to see if teams go get, let's say, point 40A, and then they don't go through and go right to 40B, then they are not getting credit for that point. So if they go to 40A and then 41A, it doesn't work. What's unique, I guess, great about this race is that they all have punches, electronic punches for this race. And so it's all time stamped. They know when they got it. They're going to be able to really tell if things were done instead of just having the old standard punch. But racers are going to have to really manage how they attack this section. And there is going to be the fastest team to clear the dog bones style bike leg will win the Discover Bella Vista Bike Award. So we'll see. I mean, there are some really, really strong biking teams here, and I think they're going to benefit from being able to cruise through this section. But it's the last section before they then come back here to the top of the ledger for the finish line. And we're going to have the arch here. They're going to be able to celebrate. There's a nice patio behind me that you can't see that we'll take you out on. We're going to be interviewing people as they cross the finish line. We might bring them in here to a little recovery zone right here and be able to interview them fresh off of their national championship run. Do we still have Brian and Mary on the Zoom? Because if we do, I'd like to go out to them and get some. Brian, are you guys there? No? I think we'll message them. We'll try to get them back up.
Yeah,
because Mary's been here since Monday, and she's been out riding these, and I would rather her be able to talk to you about the course and what racers can expect. What I can say is that the single track here is unlike other places. Mary even will probably tell you that intermediate trails here are more like advanced trails in other places. And so racers are going to be in for a treat and a challenge. And I think they wouldn't have it any other way. And so we'll see kind of how things play out on that last stage. But it's going to be fun because there's a big difference in teams that are going to short course that and do 12 miles and teams that are going to long course it and do 33. Mike Garrison said that he did that section not racing it or whatever. at about 8 miles an hour. I don't know that I would be doing it at 8 miles an hour. One of the other things that racers are going to have to contend with on these trails is the rocks. There is a lot of opportunity for cut sidewalls on their bike tires. Mike Garrison, we literally talked about it yesterday morning. He went out to go set some bike points yesterday afternoon and sent a picture of one of the sidewalls of his tire, dead ass cut and flat. And he's like, we literally just talked about this. So you could be the best biker in the world, and if you get a mechanical like that, it's fatal. And so you're going to be running with your bike. We've seen some teams do some amazing things, even running with their bike at Endless Mountains this year. One of the top teams ended up not being able to ride their bike, and one teammate took turns running with the bike, and they got it into a place where they were able to fix it and then ride it for the rest of the race. So if there's one thing that adventure racers can do, it's they can MacGyver stuff to be able to continue in the race. But I don't know how you're going to MacGyver a cut sidewall. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully we can take you back to the start here. And I think we've got Brian and Mary coming back on. We are coming live to you right now, Brian.
Okay, we're flipping around right now. We have Mary
Hi.
Foster right here. Mary's chatting with Mark Harris.
Hey,
Very nice.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, there we go, Mark. It's good to see you, Mark. But I know you're busy doing stuff, so I don't want to keep you.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'll
Mark.
talk to
Yeah,
you guys
he
later.
looks
Thank you,
busy.
Mark. Yeah.
Me and Doug.
Yes. Book him in, Doug. Have your people call his people.
All
All
right.
right, so we're going to go to Mary Foster right now. Mary, what did we see over here? What is that?
A punch of adventure race.
So a punch is like a school of fish, a herd of elephants, a murder of crows.
Yes.
It's a punch of adventure racers. And right over there, that little pavilion shed is rich with racers right now. Once again, we have the steady, ongoing study of maps. We have racers getting ready for the day, passing by. There you go. Good luck. No prisoners. Really digging into the maps right now. Really know what they're doing, really taking their time going with everything. So you are seeing a clinic now on pre-race preparation. Mary, your thoughts?
Yeah,
It's quiet around here right now.
It is,
People are
right?
deep in these maps. There's not a lot of discussions, but we've got 45 minutes to the start. So you'll see teams starting to energy starting to increase as they get closer and closer to that start line, and we'll start feeling and seeing more of that excitement, I think.
So Mary, you went out and rode a lot of the single track. Can you tell people at home what that is going to be like?
So the single track here, I'm from the East Coast. I'm in Virginia. Single track here is a little bit different. We're used to that kind of harder packed dirt, the big technical rock. Here they've got a little bit of that loose pebble,
Gravelly, shaly.
gravelly rock type of rock. A lot of chances to spin out. Tire choice. Tire choice is going to be
Tough on-
key on
Up
some
on the
of those.
sidewalls.
Yeah. Tire choice is going to be key. You want a heavy duty tire. You want a little bit of a knobbier tire. Garrison was out setting points yesterday and got a sidewall tear. It's his third one he's had here. So we did alert racers to that prior to them getting to Bentonville, letting them know, make sure you have those repair tools because it's a likely situation on these trails.
Real quick, want to point out Sarah Goldman, adventure racer right there, getting ready for her day. We love Sarah. She's the best. Great job, Sarah. Keep it rolling. Back to you, Mary.
So if you
Got on
haven't
her
ever,
Women of AR gear.
That's right. Woman of AR gear. She ties those shoes. Double knots.
hey Mary, if you've never cut a sidewall and had to try to repair it, I mean, is that fatal for your race?
It can be. Yeah. I mean, depending on the size of the tear in the sidewall, they do have these tire boots, but they're what, 1.5 by 3 inches, maybe.
Yeah.
So, 2-3 of those might.
It's catastrophic.
Right.
Yes. Sorry, Brian's distracting me.
Sorry. 77 teams?
No, it's
77.
yeah,
78.
77.
Okay. 77 teams.
No, it's 78, Brian.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right. Numbers.
But yeah, so sidewalls can be race ending. This is a little untypical for an overnight 24 30-hour race. They don't have access to gear bins, bike boxes, things like that. I mean, generally we have at least access to one gear bin resupply. So there's
Nope.
no chance of hiding a tire anywhere unless they're carrying it with them.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a full-on rip in your sidewall, lights out, baby. You're walking it. I mean, but it can be repaired. I mean, there's the old dollar bill trick. Where you
The
put
gel
it down,
pack?
the gel pack too. Also the goo gel pack. So there's a lot of ways around that. But for the most part, I mean, you'd have to close the hole in the sidewall. You have to drain out your fluid if you're tubeless, and on top of that, you have to somehow have a gel pack or a dollar bill or a boot to figure that out.
Andrea, you ever had a tear in your sidewall tire?
So we're being joined by
Thankfully.
Andrea Anderson, who's working as a volunteer this year. We are live. This is Andrea. Andrea,
We're talking about the mountain biking here and potential tire destruction.
Yeah, it's a serious concern. Our team, I think, is carrying maybe even 3 tubes, and
Wow.
obviously stuff for the sidewall tears,
What-
which we've never dealt with in a race.
I was gonna say, what if they decided on for their potential tire repair kit? Like boots or?
They have, I don't know what it's called. You can get one of those little things that comes in a kit.
Like the little,
It's like,
it's like a Band-Aid kind of.
yeah.
Okay. The boot.
Well, Andrea, since we
but
have you
hopefully they're
live,
just trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
If they see the sharp rock-like stuff, they're gonna get off and walk.
Well, that's what even Garrison was
It's always an
mentioning yesterday. If you're doing mostly on the climbing and you get into some of that looser rocky stuff, that's where you're going to tear most likely. And he suggested getting off and walking.
Never a bad idea.
Well,
I mean, end a race, walk your bike.
Andrea, I'm really happy that we caught you this morning because I think you give a unique perspective being a racer that is unable to race due to an injury. You want to tell everybody at home, obviously Andrea's from Team Disability. Tell everybody at home what you're recovering from and the fact that you've come here to help volunteer and help.
Yeah, so I broke my ankle. I have a fib fracture that now has a bunch of screws and plates. And yeah, it was about 3 months ago. And it's really, really awful not to be racing, but it's really exciting to see it from this perspective. There's a lot going on. All the teams are like deep into what they're doing, and just knowing that feeling of, that start excitement. And yeah, it's fun to witness, and I wish I was racing.
I think there's a lot of people at home that wish they were racing while they're watching this, but you're here and you're going to be at a very unique TA. How many pancakes are you going to eat overnight?
I'm going to try to avoid them like the plague. I do not need pancakes right now, but I think they are going to love it. And I'm at TA5, which is where the O relay is going to be. And it's a unique design. There's 3 different O relays that each team member has to do by themselves consecutively, not together. They have to get all of those points within their map to get a single point. It's a really unique design, and each of those maps have 1, 3, and 6 points, and 6 map has all of the points. The other 3 points are on the 6 points. Anyway, I'm trying to tell you the strategy is going to play a part, because the person who goes out for all of them could give intel to the person who gets the map for the 3 points.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then that person can give intel to the person who only has 1 point on their map, who might not be a strong navigator.
and,
So-
and a cool little factor there too is that they're done not concurrently but consecutively. So one racer goes in, 2 are left behind. One racer goes out, 2 will stay behind. So the 2 teammates will watch the tracker in it's the truck wagon, a lot of food there, the truck wagon stage, where they will watch their teammates stumble, bumble, and fumble around the course on the tracker from inside.
I didn't know they could watch.
Yeah,
I
so that's
missed
gonna be an
that.
interesting little dynamic that we've tossed in there for fun and merriment. It's also gonna be
Yeah.
podcasting and interviewing gold, because racers will just be sitting around watching their teammates do their best out there.
But if you're nervous about navigating and you get to see that many teams try to do what you're about to do, that can only be a good thing.
Exactly.
Well, and let me
Fun.
ask you this, Andrea, because you've obviously talked to your team about this relay. What is their strategy going into that?
I actually don't know.
I don't think they know either.
Not very helpful,
May
Andrea.
not know.
Yeah,
No.
talk to her taste.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I kind of avoided conversations like that because I know stuff they shouldn't know anyway. Well, now they know, but yeah, I mean, it's not my place. I'm not on the team this time,
Right.
but so that's how that goes. We'll see.
Which is an interesting dynamic that Andrea just touched on, that when you're a volunteering racer, you realize that you have to give the team the space to be a team,
Yes.
Yep.
right? That you're not on the team and that's a team they have to go by themselves and figure it out. And we have to watch from the outside, which is a very unique dynamic.
I cannot try to tell Chip what to do right now.
No.
And usually it's only trying anyway. It doesn't actually accomplish that much.
Well, if we know anything about Chip, he's always looking for an advantage. So I'm sure their strategy is going to be sound, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I hope they do well.
We look
And
forward to
everyone else,
seeing
for that
you
matter.
later tonight from your TA.
All right. Thanks.
All right. There's Michael Garrison, executive director, talking to Mary Chandler. They're
Oh,
having conversations. Let them have their conversation. We are going to log off now and come back on. Things are starting to ramp up here, and we will join you back for the start. How does that sound?
that sounds fantastic.
Very good. All right. Well, reporting live from the porta potties. We'll be back. Bye.
I told him.
So there. Yeah, I mean, it's unique to see it's not unique to see racers that can't race come out and help. If you haven't been out and volunteered at a race, I highly recommend it. I know all the race directors are probably thanking me for saying that right now because volunteers are the bread and butter of putting on a race like this. The staff works so hard to make a race like this happen and do all the things behind the scenes. But if we didn't have the volunteers, which are friends and family members usually, that are out manning these TAs and helping teams get in and out and making sure that everything is taken care of, these races could not happen. So special thanks to the volunteers for this year's United States Adventure Racing National Championship. There are a lot of them, and we are super thankful for them. And hopefully we'll be talking to some of them from the course, because they're going to get to see and hear all the things as people come in and out of the TAs. This race course is very spread out because it's over 150 miles over this 30 hours that the course will be on. So as you saw in the flyover, there are very few times where racers are gonna all be together. You're gonna be kind of spread out. You might see each other like at the TA as you're going in and out. And I think that'll be fun for the teams at the front because they should, unlike last year's national championship where we had teams that kind of surprised the podium because of the way that the windows were set up in getting points. It was really hard to track because we were looking at the dots at home and we were like, well, I don't know who got the windows back here and how many points they got in the windows. This is a very straightforward, I think, point-wise race where you're going to be able to see if the team went and got the trekking points, if the team went and got all of the biking points, and where they are in that final leg of the dog bones, and trying to see who goes after all of the points in that section. This ride up the ledger is going to be challenging for those teams, I think, because they're going to probably have smoked their legs in those single track sections. And then when they get here, like, it's beautiful. This building is absolutely spectacular. We're going to have some videos for you later where Mary Foster and I rode up the ledger yesterday, and we've got some awesome drone footage that was provided by Jeff and Adventure Racing Insider. And we're going to bring those to you later. But those were done on fresh legs. And while it wasn't as hard as what we thought it was going to be, I think that at the end of a 30-hour race, it's going to be a lot harder. And so it is a challenging finish line, which I think is also good. because it gives you that one thing that you want to continue to push hard for, and I think you're going to see even more of a sense of accomplishment at this finish line than you do in some where it's more of a relief. This is going to be, I did the last challenge, which is climbing up the ledger. And so, we're going to continue to bring you live coverage all weekend, but I hope, one of the things that I hope is that you will all go and follow. Our media team here is second to none. We've got Jeff, the producer, that is from Adventure Racing Insider. Make sure you're following him on Instagram and Facebook. We've got the Dark Zone podcast with Brian Gatens. He is phenomenal. If you signed up for the pre-race podcast, you should have that in your email box right now. I know I'm going to go listen to mine as soon as we're done with this broadcast because I didn't get to hear it yet. So make sure that you go and listen to that. There'll be some other details that we probably didn't cover here. So make sure that you're going there and make sure you're following him on Instagram and Facebook. And then make sure you're going over to AR.watch as we try to bring you a unique perspective of adventure racing that nobody else brings. And so super thankful to be here. Super grateful to be here for the second year hosting the national championship race. Being a national championship race this is what everybody works for all year. At the end of this race, because teams are still earning points for the United States Adventure Racing points victory. So teams will continue to earn points today. And at the end of this race, not only will we be crowning a national championship race winner, we will also be crowning a United States Adventure Racing Association overall points season victor. And so make sure that you tune in for that. We're going to bring you live the awards ceremony this afternoon, or tomorrow afternoon, not this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. And that'll be fun because there's some tight battles at the top of the point leaderboard, and a lot can shake out today.
Maybe talk about some of the favorites.
Yes, let's do that. I need to pull up the the list of teams. So my producer was just telling me that we need to try to pull up the race teams, and let's talk about some of the teams that are out here. Let me see if I can pull this up.
We can start with Wadali, who is last year's champion.
Yeah, I mean, last year's champion, I think Jason Magnus put on the Adventure Racing discussion group yesterday that he thinks it's their race to lose. I'm sure they also think that. They are gunning for a repeat, and I think they're going to be tough. But there are some really tough teams and some very strong cycling teams that I think will have a big play. Do you have that list, Jeff, that you can send me instead of me trying to find it?
I'm just going to forward this to you right now.
All right.
It's actually going to go to your Gmail because it's
a big
spreadsheet.
PDF. Okay.
Yep. One of the strong bike teams I can think of right now is an all-women's team.
Yes.
Actually.
Women of AR.
Yes.
I mean, they have one of probably, I would argue she is probably the strongest cycler, mountain biker here in Britt Mason, right? She's a stud. She is, she races literally mountain bikes probably in this area and wins really long bike races.
She's just in Iceland.
Okay.
Race as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't stop.
No. So, she'll be motoring that team, and it's just a strong team overall anyway. And so that's asking me to have access to that. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it up like that. Here, I'll just take yours. Look at that. Okay. So let's talk about teams. So we'll just kind of go down the list here of the mixed gender teams. So Wadali is obviously they're the reigning national champion, and they will not be backing down anytime soon to try to go here. I'm just going to go down the numbers of team numbers. Grid Adventures, man, with Jesse, Andrea, and Daniel Frank, like that's going to be a tough team. Jesse Tubb was on that team, but has had kind of a lingering injury that I think moved him off of that team. And so Daniel joined their team. And I think that's the only question mark there that that team has. But we all know what Jesse and Andrea Larson bring to the table. And so if Daniel can just hang on, I think they're going to be up there racing for this victory as well. Strong Machine. I mean, with Kate, Cliff, and Glenn, you know they're always going to be in contention. They're going to be moving hard and moving fast. Team This Ability with Chip, Mark, and Sarah. Chip is always going to make aggressive and interesting choices. So we'll see how that plays out in some of the navigation areas of this race. Tanzi Navigation EX2 Adventures with Andy, Charlie, and Liz. They're up there. Royal Elks, Lost Arrow Sports. That's Rib Mountain, Rootstock. These are all teams that are just kind of standard top of the podium or on the podium teams where I think any of them could make a run for a podium position in the mixed race. You've got 180 Adventure, Lone Pause, 38.6 degrees. I know, so I'm going to read the names of all the teams just because, first of all, it's fun because some of the team names are interesting, and maybe we'll do a poll later of what the funnest name is, team name in the national championship. I know Alan Wagner, who runs Broad Run Off-Road, they always get some very unique names for their races, and they usually like to point them out. So we'll kind of go down the list. And Loving It, I don't know if they will be at the end of this race. We'll see how much they enjoy the cycling. Big Dogs, maybe they're going to like, the dog bone section with a name like that. Del Mar Adventure Sports, Electric Mayhem, Foolish Ones, Good Job, Green Bay Endurance, High Point. I mean, there's another really strong team that, anytime that you get Rachel and Jared and Ben together, like they're going to be competing for one of the top spots in this race. You've got Howler Monkeys, King Sparrows, Kiss My Compass, Vibe Check, which is they're like a dual team, I think. Masters of Our Domain, No Regrets, which is not spelled like you think. Northgate, Nuclear Tumbleweeds, Odyssey Adventure Racing, Old Shoes, Rattlesnake Racing, Sick Ubu Sick, the Soggy Bottom Boys Racing, Team Dragons Back, Team FLX with Ron Eglin. I mean, does that guy ever not do an adventure race? I think he's everywhere. Thol Kryak AR, I don't know if I said that correctly. The Tug Hill Outfitters team, Vibes AR, the Wandering Wicks. They have a special place in my heart. I love the Wicks. And then my teammate from last weekend, Kevin Willer, has joined them to race this after we just got back from racing up in Canada on a stage race at the Raid to Miskame. So that'll be fun to watch them. The Wilderness Warriors and Full Steam Ahead, which Jesse Tubb has joined, which pairs him up with a couple of our junior racers. that have raced with full steam ahead. And that is going to be an awesome team to watch. And I'm glad that they got to kind of jump in here last minute to compete in a national championship race. There are 10 women's teams, all women teams. And man, this is a strong field again this year. I think we talked about that last year, about the power of the women's program and the amount of teams that were here. And this year is no different. The women of AR team, they're going to be challenging for one of the top spots on the overall podium, not just the women's winner.
We've got on that team probably one of the top navigators in the country right now in Nikki Driscoll, and if you put her with the strength of Karen Delaney and Britt Mason, like they're a dangerous team, and I would not be surprised to see them at the top of the podium at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be at the pointy end of the spear all day long, if not at the very tip. So then another really strong all-female team, Pretty Reckless, right? Kit, Alyssa, and Ashley. I mean, that is a very strong team too. And I could see them finishing in the top 5 overall.
Yeah, Kit is an elite navigator.
Yep.
Alyssa is a pro triathlete.
Yep.
So they're going to move fast and efficiently too.
Yeah. So that race is going to be fun to watch. Just between Women of AR and Pretty Reckless, we'll see how that plays out for the overall women's, but also for the overall. I think they're going to be challenging some of these mixed and all male teams. We got Fragile Flowers, the infamous Burf Barf, who they have not had a great experience here in Bentonville before. We were talking to them after dinner yesterday before the pre-race brief, and they all had some good luck crystals that they're all carrying with them today to hopefully avoid some any mechanical issues or anything that might come. But they are exciting, and they're going to be fun to watch as well. We got Chick Points. Steel Wolves is back for another national championship. 3 Bike Moms. So that's I love seeing that. This is actually a really good time. So we all kind of carry our kids and our family with us while we're doing races. My son Duke, he decided, he's my youngest, he just turned 7, and he wanted to make me something to bring to USARA, to bring to all of you out there. So he made me a good luck cupcake. But it's not just any cupcake. It's actually a very special USARA cupcake. So thanks to Duke. And listen, I know all of us that are parents are missing our kids, and we carry them with us while we're racing. And so I know that the 3 Bike Moms are definitely going to be thinking about their kids and making them proud out here on this national championship course. And then thanks to my little guy, Duke. Duke and Dax, Daddy loves you. Thanks for tuning in to the live broadcast, because I know they'll be excited to see me. So the Adventure Girls and Don't Ask Why and Soggy Tritons are the last of the female teams. And then we have a lot of all-male teams this year. I think that might be our biggest category. It's close with the mixed. But we got Team Ozark. They should know this area, right? So that'll be interesting to see how that local knowledge will play out. Misguided, they're always strong. Jason, Cody, and Chadrick, like they're going to be strong. Wanderlust, Michigan Racing Addicts, 1 Degree Racing, Topo Radicals, the Cherubini Brothers. Like if those guys are not smiling on course, they're not adventure racing. So we'll see them out there. We got 46 Down, Ananda, the Belt Crew, the Breakfast Club, which, are we talking about the movie or are we talking about a racing team? Because that's an oldie but a goodie. The Briar Patch Kids. And then Broad Run Off-Road has 2 teams this year. They have the Broad Run Off-Road main team, which is David Dollings, Jeremy Johnson, and Aaron Linville. And what's awesome about that team, because I know them being from the Northern Virginia area, so Jeremy is the coach for the Full Steam Ahead kids. And then Aaron Linville, you want to talk about a guy that knows how to navigate. That guy is a really strong navigator. And then their other team is the Broad Run Off-Road Virginia is for AR. And that's race director Alan Wagner from Broad Run Off-Road, Wild Bill Donahoe, who we talked to a little bit earlier, and my buddy Jesse Hagberg from Awesome Sauce is joining them. So that's a fun team. The Grit and Grind team, Magnetic South Adventure team, off-course navigation, Team Nebraska. Hopefully they're not off course today. And then Outward Adventure Racing, Owl Racing, Seek First, Sisu, 616, the Bearded Guys, spelled B-E-E-R. So we'll probably have one of those up here for them when they get done. Trinity, Two Broken Pedals, Where's the Taco Bell? That's probably my favorite of the names so far. Excuse me, XMA, Weister, the Three-Legged Dog team, and bringing up the last team is Hill Country Racing. So, you know, we have a lot of racers that are racing, and I'd like to try to get Brian and Mary back on because we got about 15 minutes. I think this till the start of the race, and I'd like to bring them. I'd like to get them kind of talking to racers as final preparations are being done. They've all looked at all of their maps now. They have everything set, and so now all the planning is done, and now it's just time to race. Are they on yet, or we're gonna have to send it back? Okay. But yeah, I think this is the time when we'll probably see some nervous energy. Once the gun goes off and it's time to go, all of that kind of goes out the window. And then it's just about moving forward. I think that's when you're doing adventure racing, if you haven't done adventure racing, if you're new to adventure racing, getting to the start line is probably harder than racing itself because there's all the planning and preparation, there's the travel, there's the, you know, making sure you have everything. I know there were the Burf Barf team, they were missing a couple things up until last night that they were able to get last minute. And so getting to the start line is oftentimes tougher than the race because the race is all about just putting one foot down in front of the other. This might be a national championship race, but it's still just an adventure race. And if you are new to adventure racing or thinking about doing adventure racing and tuning in, your friend and family member who's just like, yeah, I want to see what my friends are doing and how crazy they are. Listen, adventure racing, it's crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy. And if you come out here and you get to see what we're experiencing, you're going to want to come back for more. I don't know very many people who come out and do an adventure race and go, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. You might see that in marathon running where most people will say, nope, one and done. I don't need to do that again. But every adventure race is unique. You're going to get to experience different things in different places. You could run a course the same, you know, back-to-back years, and you're going to see different things just because route choice and where CPs are set up. And race directors around the country are trying to set up courses that are going to take you to places you would never get to see without doing an adventure race. We saw that last year. We're going to see that again here. And so I urge you to continue to go out there, continue to do more races. If you go to the USARA.com website, there's an events page that will bring you all of the events that are USARA events all across the country. So you can look at the calendar by month. You can set up when you want to do it. And listen, there are all kinds of coaches out there. If you don't know where to get started, hit me up on AR.watch and I'll put you in touch with some people that will help you get ready for your first race. Because you don't have to do this alone. This community is one of the best communities that you'll ever be a part of. Everybody that you talk to, from the lead racers to the back of the pack, are going to want to give you advice. It might not always be great advice, but it's going to be advice, and they're going to help you, and you're going to be able to get out and do those things. So hopefully we can get Brian and Mary back on, as we got about 12 minutes before the start of the race. And so, racers are going to be out on foot. I don't know do we know if there's a prologue for this race, or if everybody's just going to start and go?
I think they're all just going to start and go. That's my impression. I mean, it's a long trek, so
Yeah.
some teams are going to start running, and some are not.
Yeah, so you'll see the conga line of dots if you go to the Adventure Enablers tracking site. Right now, if you go click on it, it just pulls this big span of dots up. Maybe we can pull that up and give you a little quick tutorial of how to follow your team. So let's say you want to follow Wadali, right? Wadali, so what you do is you go down here to this participant list. You will scroll. Wadali is team number 1, right? When you click on that, as you see on the main screen, it will bounce, even when there's 77 other things around. It will bounce right there in the middle, and it will show you where your person is. As the race gets going, you're going to see your dot move, and when you click on this person and then go back to the tracker, it will give you a blue line that will show you the route that team has taken to get to that point. Now, the official tracking is not based, like all the scoring is not based off of this tracker, because you'll see the checkpoints on the map once the map goes live is a circle, and that circle is roughly 15 meters around the checkpoint. And so if a tracker gets near that circle, it will register as if it got it. But if we're in a thick area where they didn't find it, maybe that team doesn't find it, you might see your dot going all around. Now, if you want to continue to watch that team and that team only, you can put a star next to it and then go up into the where the viewing portal there, yep, and click favorites. And now all the other people disappear except for your favorite team. And so you can see them. Now, when Mark Harris is here later, we'll go over kind of how to go back and watch what they've done. So if you have to go and work, which some of you might, go work, come back in an hour, and you want to see what they've done in that last hour, we're going to show you how to do that, but we'll do that. We'll show you that later tonight. And so, yeah, that's just a little quick tutorial on how to do it. So I think we're going to go back out to Brian. Brian, can you go landscape?
Turn his phone.
You're sideways. Oh, that's good.
Sort of.
That is. All right.
A little bit. I'm going to flip it around here so we can see the crowd.
All right. So we are 9 minutes from the start.
Are we pleased with this angle?
Yeah, that works. It's up and down on our screen, so that's good.
So right now these teams are heading down to the arch. They've turned in their phones. They've checked their AR appropriate watches. There's Brent Friedland striding off to the start line. Unzipped his shirt. There's Brent showing his chest hair again. And we are walking to the start line.
I'm not going to sprint out. I don't want to sprint out.
Hey, Brian, can you try to change it the other way?
Sure. How about that?
Oh, there we go.
Hey, perfect.
Better?
Yep.
Good. Very nice. The phone was being persnickety. There's Team Wadali in front of us. Team 001. That's right. Rocket in the air, baby.
We were just talking about them.
Yep. Yep. As they go through, so teams are heading to behind the arch here. We want to thank of course, our sponsors, Ozark Foundation and Visit Bentonville, been very, very good to us. and the team members are going down there. There we go. There we go. There you go. Finding their way behind the arch. It's a beautiful morning here. This was to talk about the heat of the day. That heat has not yet come up. The sun is currently behind some clouds. But as we get later into the day, it's going to be a little bit of a busyness.
Here we go.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck, everyone. Teams are striding off. They're getting ready to go here. Very nice, making their way. Little high fives for loves. High fives for love. Powering up. Go get it. Oh, here we go. Very nice. Go get them, guys. Good luck, everyone. There we go. There's Jesse Tubb right with team full steam ahead.
Yeah,
Very
we were
nice,
just talking
very
about
nice. Go
them.
get 'em. There you go. There they go. There you go. Logan's very nice. Very nice. Here we go. All right, full steam ahead. Go get them. No prisoners. Go get them.
We were just talking about how
Team just-
unique that team is. That they got in last minute.
Mapping right to the start line. Right to the start line, making every second they can of it.
Well, they found the start, so that's good.
Yes. Yes. So they are behind the arch right there. Are we pleased with this angle there, Mr. O'Connor, where I will be standing? This works for you?
Yeah, we're good. Hey, do you think that Full Steam Ahead would have a second to talk?
No, we have lost them to the punch of adventure racers that are down there. So
Okay.
we're gonna let them sort of get their race started. They're in the mix.
Yeah, there's Mike Garrison. Does he want to say anything right before we get started?
Yeah, we'll get a little Garrison quote here real quickly.
209, get the clan drawn map.
So Garrison, we're live here at the start. You want to give us 30 seconds of commentary?
30 seconds of commentary on the start.
That
I've been
doesn't
trying to
count
keep
towards
in my
your 30
mind three
seconds.
Things I need to tell the teams related to safety, and
Right.
now I'm losing those things. No, more teams than I think we anticipated were really wanting to swim. If they do the math, it's not super big time advantage, and it comes with two downsides. But we did have to tell teams not to swim.
Okay. And the reason being is that the race starts
It goes around the
around the lake.
Yeah.
And so adventure racers always looking for every single advantage they could find, thought they could swim across that body of water there, enjoying the trail on that side. Sounds like they've been informed that that is not a legitimate option.
We are not prepared for like appropriate safety.
Gotcha.
So if you have more, like if one person struggles, we're fine. We got a kayak and a person in
Yeah.
it, but that's not what we got going.
Nice. Okay.
From team 3.
Well, we got 5 minutes to the start.
Yep. There's Stephanie Russ down there checking the sealed cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to stand behind this cone of safety, which I'm sure will, so I don't get mowed down by the racers. We have a drone above us right now.
Right.
That's the flyover, right?
Yep. Yep. Racers still making their way down. Get ready to race. Vibe here is strong. Positivity is good.
Any
Oh, this is the front.
any insights from teams as the last 15 minutes or so?
No, nothing really. In spending time with the teams and watching them do their mapping, really a meat and potatoes, bread and butter way of going through the course. The maps are top notch. They're very, very, very strong. They're clear. It was amazing how few questions they had. Like they, as we had said in an earlier broadcast, because of who they are and what they've done, they know how to do this. And as a result, it's really, really obvious that all they just need is time to start racing. They're really far away from any sort of hand holding or other preparation. They're ready to go.
It looks like an absolute beautiful morning out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, I'll just get a picture here. You get a sense of the size of the field, the size of the course.
It's funny. We got a little sprinkle here. I don't know, probably 20 minutes ago,
Right.
just randomly out of nowhere.
Yeah, nothing here. Not an ounce of bad weather. Nothing. Seen some last minute scattering here for teams. They have to show their cell phones. There we
Oh,
go.
boy.
Yep. All teams must carry a sealed cell phone, and that is recorded in these books right here. And the cell phones have to be shown sealed at the end of the race. There you go.
So is that everybody now?
Missing
Tugtail
outfitters and one
37, Tugtail Outfitters, and 101. Winner of the day.
That's Stephanie Ross right there. She is the coordinator for nationals. She's making sure everyone has their appropriate safety gear put into place. We have Garrison over here, making sure things are floating nice and smoothly. They removed my cone of safety. So
Oh,
if I'm
no.
mowed down by the crowd, it's been great knowing all of you. Tell my wife, Kathy, I love her.
Just hide behind Mary.
Exactly. Mary's flying the drone. Here we go. Instructions.
Last minute instructions for the racers.
Because I really hate to beat you all for an inadvertent rules violation. Red X's on the road, you cannot cross there. You should have noticed that there were lots of little gaps in those red X's on main roads. Those gaps are where you cross those main roads. You cannot cross a road where it is X'd out in red. Where I saw a lot of you highlighting right over those red X's was coming out of Woka Trail heading into Siloam Springs. So consider this your fair warning. If we see you on the X'd out road, crossing that X'd out road into Siloam Springs, I'm gonna ding you with a violation. All right, did everybody hear that? Yes, fabulous.
Sign checks. You're talking about.
Stephanie not fooling around, obviously, making sure the safety is paramount.
And we'll have the maps posted on
Yes.
the USARA.com page under the live coverage. Oh, they are already there.
Are here.
So for those of you at home, make sure you go in and seeing what your route choices would have been.
National anthem, guys.
Oh.
We'll put you right on the coverage page and scroll down, and there's one post for all the rules of travel and one post with all the maps.
Nothing like 234 racers singing the national anthem.
All right, racers, are we ready?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to witness the start of the 2025 United States Adventure Racing National Championship.
3, 2, 1.
And there they go. I don't know that Brian is safe.
What a huge field. A ton of racers. Love to see that.
And there they go.
All right, folks, we're signing off from the start, getting in the van, looking to catch them down the course. We'll see you down the road.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mary. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the start of the 2025 United States Adventure Racing National Championship. We're going to be bringing you live coverage all day. Make sure that you go and follow Adventure Racing Insider, the Dark Zone podcast, AR.watch, USARA, ARWS North America. There's going to be things streamed all over. But the easiest way to go see all of the live coverage is to go to USARA.com, and just right there on the front page, on the home page, you're going to see the link for the live link for the shows, some videos that we're going to post, the link to the tracker for the Adventure Enablers tracker. So make sure that you tune in all day. We'll be here, beautiful at the Ledger, and we're going to be watching dots and bringing you any updates that we have. And we'll look forward to having you. Thanks for having me out here again. Hope to see you this afternoon at our 12:30 show. Until then, enjoy watching all the dots, because we sure will.